Are you on? And they said hi too. That was awesome. Thank you guys. You got, he's there. He's there. They're there. Kiki is, where are you, Kiki? Oh, he's in his usual spot. Right. Kind of in there, but in the back. Okay, so, let's see. I got a new bird toy. I'm not exactly sure where to put it. So I'm going to show it to you. Doesn't look like much. Anyway, it spins. And it's threaded like a screw. So I didn't know that. So it goes back and forth. So, and I'm not sure where to put it. I was kind of thinking there or down here, but I'm not sure if that's too high. Anyway, but I wanted to show you new bird toy. So there's another bar that goes here between the cage. So the cage is in between. There's 2 bolts and wing nuts. So, let's see what else is going on. I want to leave enough time to tell my story. So, Yum Box. Jen found a job. She's working the front desk at where her parents live, and so it's taking up a lot of her time, obviously. So we're having even more trouble finding time to do the Yum Boxes. So I need to nail her down sometime when I can actually see her. I don't even get to see her anymore. And the last time I talked to her, I said, I mean, we need to do like 2 or 3 at the same time, because at the one time, because we got 3 boxes over there, and number 4 will be here in a couple weeks. So, yeah, so that's the deal with that, and that's why you get to see me talk to you for, this is what, 3rd week in a row. I think next week I'll have lock screen videos. I kind of messed up. Yeah, I messed up, and I just got a new set of pictures, and the ones, not the ones before that, but the ones before that, before those. At least on this tablet with the dogs, I messed up, and I kept procrastinating and taking all the screenshots. And before I knew it, the 2 weeks were up, and I got a new set of pictures, and once they're gone, they're gone. So, kicking myself for doing that. There was one picture specifically that I wanted you guys to see, because I had never seen this before. It was a dog. Don't even ask me what the dog is called. Basically, it looked like a dark brown, almost black, maybe more, let's say black, hairless Great Dane. That's what it looked like. Yeah. So think Chinese crested, hairless, think that dog, only black and Great Dane. There was just little whispers of fur, just little wisps, and that was it. And I have never heard of this dog before, this breed, ever. So I couldn't wait to show it to you. And then all of a sudden, it's like 2 weeks are up already, and it was gone. So I apologize. But I just got a new set of pictures, and so I'll have 2 sets, part 1 and part 2. So, there's that. I just filmed Sunday's video. It went pretty well. Daisy, I got Daisy to participate. Even though she, I guess I wasn't here, but Mom took her for a walk, took both of them for a walk earlier today. And, she got home and she found there was like blood everywhere. And so she had to do some investigating and came and found out it was coming from Daisy. She hurt her paw. So she's walking around very gingerly. She'll stand there and hold her paw up, but then she'll turn around and start walking around. So, but I could definitely see. I kind of looked at it briefly, and it looks raw. I mean, there's on her pads. We were at the vet last week for her annual. And plus I really wanted to talk about all her allergy problems. And I guess because it seems like their allergy medication isn't working, they said her vet said that she found like skin infections like everywhere, her paws, her back, her skin, even in her ears. And she said and that has to do they have to do with each other. And I guess when you have skin infections, the allergy meds don't work. And so then she's itching, rubbing, and just, it was just a mess. So I came home with like a pharmacy, three different pills and a cream for her ears. So, but things seem to really have calmed down since then. We go back next week for a recheck, and hopefully by then her paw will be. And I can ask about that. You know, it's like, can she? Because I asked them, you know, because her paws are kind of swollen, and she's been on one walk if everything was fine, and they said, yeah, she can go for walks, but now, well, can she? So she's staying home for now. Okay, story time. And I've used up 7 minutes. Okay. So this has to do with our friend Jennifer Dorn. She has allowed me to tell you guys. So I think all of you know she has bunnies, Tweety and Snuffy, right? Well, I got a very sad message from her over the weekend, and I thought the worst, you know. And but it had to do with Tweety and how he all of a sudden lost the use of his back legs, and she, you know, but he was otherwise eating and drinking and cleaning himself and so on. And so I was like, well, I said, so I just gave her some instructions, you know, like nursemaid type instructions, you know, move him every couple hours, change his position, make sure he's staying clean, maybe even do a little physical therapy and extend out his legs and joints just to keep them flexible and supple and so on. And but then I said, and then I checked back after a couple of days, and she said, it's like, other than the fact that he doesn't move around, it's like nothing happened. It's, you know, eating, drinking, doing everything that he always did before. So I said, well, you know, I got a couple, you know, similar stories, but maybe I should tell everybody. And she thought that was a great idea. So I've had 2 rabbits in my life, one after the other. I'm pretty sure I have pictures of them. I have no idea where they are. So I'm going to put up pictures, but they aren't of them. They're of their breed. So The first rabbit I had, and I'm going to do a brief version of these stories because of time. So the first rabbit I had, he was a Himalayan. Put the picture up. And as you can see, Himalayans have pink eyes, but they're not albino. That's their breed. I got him from a coworker whose son was planning on getting 2 rabbits and showing them for 4-H, but this rabbit had one little brown spot on its side, like side of his back leg, and that's not breed standard, so he would have been disqualified just for that. So he didn't want to do it anymore. He had named him Al. I didn't like that name. So I named him Toby. Now I know what you're thinking. But no, I had never heard of Toby Mac at that point in my life. This was a long time ago. I had not heard of Toby Mac. I just liked the word. I just thought I just liked the name Toby, and he looked like a Toby. So we had a hutch in the backyard, and he lived through the winters great. I went out there every day, fed him, and everything. Summers, he was sensitive to the heat. He was very sensitive. So every summer I would have to, when it got really hot, I would go out there and he'd be just like this limp, just this limp rag. And so I'd bring him indoors, and we had an emergency cage, and he'd live in there until it cooled down a little bit, and then I'd put him back outside. And this happened every year. One day I went out to go take care of him, and he had a head tilt, meaning his head was like this, and just kind of pulsating. Obviously not good. So I was volunteering at the Wildlife Rehab Center at the time. So I talked to them. They had me talk. One of them made a phone call and had me talk to. I guess he was the head professor in the vet. He was one of the head professors in the veterinary college, and rabbits was his specialty. He was the expert on rabbits. And so I told him what was going on, and he sounds like he was really busy because he just said, just put him down. He won't live. And that was basically the end of the phone call. And I was like, I don't want to put my bunny down. So I worked with a couple vets, and I kept him in the house for quite a long time, for several months. He got some medicine. I had to figure out how to give a rabbit a pill. I finally figured out that you take the pill, you take 2 spoons, and you put the pill in the one spoon. You take the other spoon, and you crush them like this, and then when you're done, so you have all the pill crumbs in this spoon. With this spoon, you take some jelly, like grape jelly or whatever, and you smear the jelly on a piece of lettuce, and then you take this spoon and you kind of pour it into the jelly, and you kind of mix it up, and then you feed the whole thing to the rabbit, and it was all good. So I've had he took medicine for a long time. I think he lived indoors, all winter long. And finally the day came. It was July. And he was upright. He was on his feet. He still had the head tilt, but he was eating on his own. He could, so while he was like this, so I stuck him back outside in his hutch. that day, this enormous storm came through. Again, that's a totally different story. It's a storm that people still talk about. Oh, that was in 97. Because we always talk about the July of 97 storm. So that was 1997. Okay. So all you have to say is July of 97 storm. And everybody knows what you're talking about. That came through. As I think one of the only times in my life we had to go hide in the basement. And when the storm ended, I went out and I was like, Toby was out there in the whole thing. Because by the time we went out there, you couldn't go outside. So I went out and go find him, and he was just, the water. I just raining the water off him. And so I had to bring him back in the house, let him dry. And I think after he dried, then I put him back outside, and I think he lived until that fall, and then he died. And then I knew that fall, like November, early winter, that's not the time to buy rabbits. Spring is Easter. Places are always selling bunnies in the springtime. So I waited. I was very patient. And so finally spring came, and I was where I worked. I passed by a farm store, and finally one day they had a sign up, bunnies. I was like, perfect. So I pulled in there and I saw what they had, and I always wanted a lop-eared bunny. And so I brought home Carmen and put that picture up. Again, that's not her, but it kind of looks like her. Basically looks like her. And Carmen, she could handle she handled the weather a lot better than Toby did. I did not have to bring her indoors in the summer or winter. But then one day I went out to the hutch, and she was just like Tweety was laying there with her legs all laid out. And so brought her inside and brought her to the vet I was using at the time. And she kind of palpated her spine, and in the middle she could feel this kind of a swollen area. And she goes, she's got a like a disc that's kind of and so she goes, it's very possible she kicked at something and kind of kicked too high, and it irritated her spine. So she injected I think a muscle relaxer, and she gave me some medicine to give her, I think a steroid. I don't know. There was. I remember she injected something, and then I got some medication to give her. So I brought her home. She said, no, it will probably work rather quickly. You will see some results soon. So I brought her home, and at the time I had just a metal tray on the living room floor. I just had her on there because since she couldn't move, they didn't have to have her in a cage. So she just laid there, all evening. I went to bed and left her there. I got up the next day. I come out, and the tray is still in the middle of the living room on the floor, but she was sitting over by the couch. I'm like, oh, you can move. So it took a couple more days, and finally she was hopping around like normal, and so then I put her back outside. And I think she... I don't remember how long either one of them lived. But I remember it was summer when she did, but it's probably, a year or two later. I don't remember. I really don't remember. But after those two, that was it. Yeah, I think that's when I switched to guinea pigs. I think, maybe not. I think I was just done with. Yeah. It's hard to remember sometimes. So, it's basically it. But I know you can keep rabbits as house rabbits in the house. You just gotta watch. Gotta put cover up all your electrical cords. But other than that, so I think that's all I really have. 21 minutes and counting. It's finally warming up outside. We turned the corner, I think, over the weekend. So it's been in the 60s and should be 70s by next week. So I can see why this is going to be fun. It's fun for me. This is like fidget for birds and bird owners. I'll just keep this in my pocket. No, I won't. Next week is my niece's 16th birthday. So we're making plans on that. So, other than that, I think that's all I really have to say. So like I said, hopefully in the next 2 weeks will be lock screen videos. And I'm hoping after that, hopefully a yum video or two. Wow, look at that. That's kind of cool. Okay. All right. That's it. Bye.